Hello everyone, I'm pro saxophonist Jamie Anderson. You're watching Get Your Sax Together live, the viewers submission edition, the ever popular viewers submission edition. So I've got a very special co-host today who I'm just about to introduce. But just before I do that, a few little parish announcements just to smoke through very quickly. So first of all, I would love for you to submit your own video, which you can do using the URL that you can see below there. getyoursaxtogether.com/send a video. That will give you all the information you need on how to submit a video. Let me just check that I'm coming through loud and clear. Give me a hell yeah in the chat if you can hear me okay, because technical failures are what I do best on these lives. Okay, so that is how you submit your video, and I would love to see your video there. Now then, in case you hadn't heard, there's something pretty cool in the pipeline. It's called Improvisation Mastery. It's my new course, and it's going to take you from wherever you are in your improvising journey to an absolute hero. So that's going to be out in about June, I reckon. And if you know anything about my courses, you know what this course is going to be like. It's awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm just going to tell you about my masterclass as well, in case you haven't already watched it. This is my free gift to you guys. It's a 1-hour saxophone success masterclass with all sorts of juicy goodies in there, straight from the pro stage to you to help your playing. It'll help you get a great practice routine going, help you with your improvising, it'll help you get a great sound, it'll help you with choosing your gear and all sorts of other saxophone goodies. So make sure you go and check out the Saxophone Success Masterclass with the URL there, or there's a link in the description as well. As always, thank you so much. I'm going to try and point that way. If you bought me a coffee using the link there, it's super, super appreciated. I can't believe how generous you all are. And if you feel like you're getting some nice little value from today's lesson, feel free to buy me a coffee. Okay, now I'm going to introduce my co-host. I had a little chat. I had a little go with people in the chat before to see if they could guess rather. But it's got a lot closer to home. I am pleased to introduce my wife, Mel. Mel Anderson,
hello,
everyone.
hi.
She's going to be manning the chat and introducing everybody and just being a general friendly face in the chat. So say hi to Mel. You're a bit squint, love.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Also,
it's my first time live.
When I'm doing my bits, can you mute your mic? Because I could hear you crashing around.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay, who we got in the chat then, love?
Okay, we have Carlos was in super early today. So welcome, Carlos. We've got Stephen, Keefe, Stuart, Johnny Sachs. We've got Hugh Williams. We have Gordon, Hannah, Gary, Jack. Stick around, Jack. We might have something for you today. Gary Payne. We've got Ian Sim, Brian Ballett, Stan Dunn, Mad Tamby. Let's see who else. Some of the names are coming back again. Eduardo, Mike, Keefe, Ragnar, Bruce, Chris, Kurt. I think I'm seeing the names come back again now. Sax to the Max, Anja, Pete Cole, and so many more. I'll say hello to more of you as we go. There's loads of names here.
Big up to Xavier. You definitely want to hang around, my little friend.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see Xavier hang around, Xavi.
Now then, did you see in the comments that somebody recognised you? Somebody said,
Me?
Mel, baritone sax.
Oh, I did actually see someone I was reading some of the comments earlier, and someone said they loved the family video. That was hilarious. And when we watched it back, I was crying and my tummy was hurting with laughter. It was really good fun. It was as much fun as it looked. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Shall we move on then to the first video?
Yeah, let's do it. Shall I introduce the first one?
I've got a little sting first. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Right. Okay. Here's Mel to introduce our first contestant.
Okay, straight away, we've got a name that, if I say this wrong, my sincere apologies. We have Jens Runesson from Sweden. Jens has sent in a 12-bar blues, and I'm just going to tell you what he said in his email. So he sent us in a 12-bar blues. He says, I picked up sax playing 3.5 years ago, and I'm struggling to be able to play R&R stroke R&B really low down and dirty. So Jens wants to know how to do the great shake.
Okay, that's awesome. Let's get to Jens. Let's cue up the video. Here we go. There he is. Right, forgive any technical failures today, as usual, but so far so good. So, here we go. Oh yes, that was happening. Nice one, Jens. That was fantastic. So that was a blues in concert C. As you can tell from that. Now, one thing that I really loved about what you did in this video, Jens, you are kind of sticking to that D sort of pentatonic thing, but when you got to chord 5 in bar 9, and the chord changed in tenor pitch to an A7, you hit that C sharp, you totally nailed the changes on chord 5, so maximum points for that one. And there's a really good teaching point here, which anyone can use for themselves. If you're a kind of one scale person when you're improvising, that's totally cool. But you can move on with your improvising slightly just by adding in that one little note here and there that shows you know the chord changes, and that's exactly what Jens did. So maximum points, Jens. That was absolutely awesome. Now, you wanted to know about the great shake. I actually did a whole video about this recently, but just in case anyone missed it, I'll do a quick recap. So all you're going to do is you're going to finger, I'll tell you what, I might just go back into normal. Yeah. So what you're going to do is, there's two ways of looking at it. You can either finger an octave G and then add 2, 3, and low C in your right hand, or you can think of it like fingering a low C. Whenever my face is in camera, it won't focus. Or you could finger a low C, add the octave key, then take off the first finger in your right hand. Now what you're going to do is play that G, and then you'll find that there's a little harmonic that bubbles underneath the surface, and it sounds like this. And if you just speed that up, that's how you get that rock and roll great shake. That is the classic great shake, which you can do in a G. There's other ones on the A and B flat, like the one that's in Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, but you'll have to go and watch my video for that one. So, fantastic job. Let's have a round of applause, if it's working, for Jens. Woo! Right, over to you. Who's next?
That was fantastic, Jens. I really enjoyed that. Okay, next up we have one of the girls. It's Nikki Potter. She sent in Saving All My Love. Nikki says, I have been a closet player for many years, but recently started recording myself. So any advice to improve sound, etc., would be appreciated. Had to change the res, etc., as the file was too big. So Nikki Potter with Saving All My Love.
Okay, fantastic. Let's get Nikki queued up, shall we? Here we go. Saving All My Love. This has got some pretty cool sparkly filtration on it. Let's do it. Oh yes, fantastic job. That was absolutely awesome. Really enjoyed that. Now then, Nikki, you asked about how to improve your sound. So that's not, the simplest task in the world. Your sounds, you've got a not bad sound already. So one of the ways that you need to improve your sound is to learn how to use your larynx, which is the real engine room of any person's sax sound. You could also practice overtones. I call it the mothership, which is in my Total Tone Mastery course. Plug, 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 plug. But if you really want to get your sound together, you could do a lot worse than buying my Total Tone Mastery course, because it's got everything you can imagine to improve your sound in there. But in there, you will find the mothership, which is my overtones matching exercise. And also have a little go at improving your vibrato. I've got a recent video on vibrato that you can check out. But one other thing I noticed about your performance, the sort of top, the millionaire YouTubers, if you like, when they're playing these kind of songs, they add in little grace notes and bends up to notes. And they add that little bit more vibrato. So if I play a little bit, kind of like the way you're playing it first, it sounds a bit like this, which is also great. So this is kind of like how you're playing it. And it's in tune. It's a perfectly good sound. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you want to like hit the turbo button and like get that extra little bit of juice in your performance, add in the rich vibrato, try and scoop up to the notes a bit more and use some grace notes. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come out back into normal camera mode like that. And I'll show you what I mean. That way you've just got that little extra bit of expression in there, but wonderful job. So anyone else that's got any thoughts on the performances, please do chip in. It's trial by jury in this show. We love it. So let's have a round of applause for Nikki. Okay, who's next? My gorgeous co-assistant, co-host.
Nikki, that was awesome. I appreciate that. That's from my childhood, that song. And you've got loads of lovely comments in the chat box there. And Eduardo says you've got pro mic set up. So yeah, awesome. Well done. Okay, next up we have Venus Sax. We haven't got any info here. We're thinking she might have been a little bit shy. We think from the conversation she's possibly from Japan. But Venus Sax is doing Careless Whisper, another one from my childhood. Wonderful.
Right, okay, let's get this queued up for Venus Sax. Here we go. Okay, there we have it. That was fantastic. Love that. Really nice intonation, really good tuning, really sweet sound. Totally got all the notes down for the whole tune, everything. Absolutely wonderful. Love it. Thanks very much for submitting, especially if you're a bit shy to do so. And that goes for everybody, by the way. it's quite a big deal to send your video in for the world to watch. So absolute respect to anyone that has submitted their video, not least Venus. My only little tip here for your technique is sometimes, in fact, you can see it in the still on the screen right now. Your fingers are quite far off the keys. So let me just come back out into normal mode so you can get a better view. Yeah. So your fingers are quite far off the keys like this. Go away, my face. Oh, it wants to focus on Dexter Gordon now, doesn't it? Hello. Right. So your fingers are quite far off the keys like this. So try and keep your fingers really close. In fact, I did a video recently on hand position. So go and check out that one. Check out my video on hand position. You want to keep your fingers in a nice C shape on the instrument and not flapping like this, because although it's not going to hold you back too much playing Careless Whisper at this point, as you move on and you get better, you want that technique to be able to play quicker and neater. But great job. Thanks very much for your submission. Really love that. And you're extremely in tune. Very, very in tune. So we love that. Round of applause for Venus Sax. Moving on, moving on.
All right, I just want to say, you might hear a dog whimpering in the background. It's our dog. She's not in pain or anything. She's just upset because I'm not giving her any attention. So if you hear that, that's Queenie. Next up, we have Justin Kirkwood, who has submitted Cry Me a River. So you'll know famous versions of those by Julie London and Michael Bublé. We love this one. So Justin Kirkwood, Cry Me a River.
Okay, let's hear Justin, shall we? Everyone having a good time so far? Anyone trembling at the knees, wondering if their video is going to come up? Okay, here we go. Here's Justin. All right, great job. Thanks very much, Justin. That's absolutely awesome. Really nice version of that song. I love it. Now, a couple of comments. Here's my feedback for you. Number one, you seem like a pretty powerful big guy. That alto looks absolutely minuscule on you. So I think you've got the potential to really use a lot more air. Possibly, I can't quite see from your mouthpiece what you've got there, but I don't know what the tip opening of the mouthpiece is. But if it's small, 4 or 5, even 6 maybe, although maybe, 4 or 5, think about opening up your tip opening a little bit. That's my advice. And really fill up the sax with a bit more air. I think you've got a bigger sound than that in you somewhere. So if it's just the confidence thing, really try and blow out and relax your embouchure and let the sound sing out a lot more. There's the usual stuff like trying to keep it a little bit tighter in time with the backing track, but that stuff will come with experience. But, throw it out there. Really, really express your sound to the world and, say your statement. That's my advice to you. Don't hide your light under a bushel, Justin. But fantastic job. Love that song. Love that performance. Give it up for Justin, everyone. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is cool. How about we just have a little jump into the comments? What we got there?
Yeah, I was actually just going to say before, I need to find it again. Lindsay Cooper, I think you said in the comments, I wish I didn't go to pieces when I started my video. Lindsay, just keep it recording, keep it on and take the pressure off. Play, if it doesn't go so well, just take a breath, but just keep record on and just keep going with it and see if you can get something cool to send to us. And remember, we're looking at people that are complete beginners as well. So there's a real you know, there's a real spectrum of people and it's all positive. So yeah, send us something in. It'd be really cool. Lovely comments from everybody as well. You're all supporting each other. That's really, really nice. There are a few questions coming in. I'm going to like copy and paste the ones that have come in and leave them till the end. So, but yeah, lots more people. Yeah.
Have you said anything about the cue with the dot yet?
I didn't. No. If you want to, we're going to do questions at the end. So try and keep your questions until it, like, if it's something that's relevant and you know you need to remember it, pop it in. But if you can put a cue and a dot and then put your question in, it'll be easy for Jamie to search for it so we can pop it up on the screen. That'd be great.
Okay, cool. Who's next?
Oh, yay. Next up, we have Xavier Kusev playing Pink Panther. So Xavier is our little pal. I say our, he's not my pal, it's Jamie's, but I feel like it's my little pal as well. Jamie's been teaching Xavier, I think, since he was about 7 years old. You can correct me if I'm wrong there. He's in year 4 at school. He's a snappy little dresser. And I'm actually going to pop his Instagram handle in the comments. It'd be really lovely if you all go and follow him and give him some support. He's awesome. So, yay, let's go with Xavier with the Pink Panther.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, Xavier's my pupil. I've been teaching for a couple of years, and he is fantastic. So I know you're watching, along with his faithful mother, Petra. So hi, guys, and here we go. This is going to be a family favourite. This is Pink Panther, everyone. Here we go. Check him out. Woohoo! How good was that? Oh, I love the bow as well. That was absolutely brilliant. Great job, young man. Absolutely storming as always. And he's got a lot more repertoire than that, I can tell you, people. Entertainers, his most recent fantastic party piece. So fantastic job, Xavier. Some of you might even notice he's like bending some of the notes down with his throat, which is quite an advanced technique as well. So that's really rather special of him. Now then, of course, I've got to give you tips as well, even though I give you tips every week, including yesterday morning as it happens. But I'm going to give you the same tip just so everyone else can learn from it. So what Xavier's been doing recently has been slightly slipping back into not putting enough mouthpiece in his mouth. And so the sound goes a bit kind of thinner and a bit woollier, almost like a subtone. So the difference between the sound is this. So first of all, I'll play with a nice full sound, which is the right amount of mouthpiece in, and then I'll sort of demonstrate what's been happening recently. But then if you don't put quite enough mouthpiece in, you get this kind of sound. So hopefully you can hear the difference there. There's quite a big difference in volume and there's quite a big difference in tone. So if you're a beginner, try not to fall into the trap of putting in too little mouthpiece. Also, of course, don't put too much in, but then you'll sound like a kind of, then you'll sound more like a foghorn. But, you know, it's all about the Goldilocks. Just not too much, not too little, just right. But fantastic job, Xavier. Absolutely wonderful. We love you, and that was awesome. So give him some love in the comments if you enjoyed that version of Pink Panther. Okay, who is next? This is going well.
Okay, before I say who's going up next, we have to send a huge apology to Xavier because he's 6, not 9.
He's not 6. He's not 6.
It says 6 in the comments. He put in this comment. Oh, sorry. Since you were 6 years old. I see. That's my fault. Sorry. Since you were 6 years old, not 7 years old. I suddenly thought, I thought maybe you got it upside down.
He's really pretty big for a 9-year-old. Never mind a 6-year-old.
I know, right? Yeah. Sorry, Xavier. So he's been playing with you since 6.
I think that's what the message was. Yeah.
I think
which
that
is
was.
incredible.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Next up, we have Michael Gobson. And he's playing Harry Potter's Hedwig theme. This is a funny one because it looks like someone's just sort of crept up on him while he wasn't looking and recorded him playing. So, yeah, Michael Gobson with Harry Potter's Hedwig theme.
Yeah, it might not be a prank at all, but it's just kind of got that vibe to it. So, it's quite a short one. That's short and sweet. Let's check it out. Michael... It must be Michael Gibson, right? Surely that's a typo. Okay, here we go. Oops, almost played it twice. We probably could have, couldn't we? So that's Michael playing Harry Potter theme. So great job on that. Let's just treat it as a completely authentic submission, which is what I do to everybody. Now, I'll give you a couple of little tips because that's what we're here to do. One of the melody notes, you know, I'm such a bloody nightmare. Mel's got to live with me, but there is one note that's not quite right. So when you play the melody, let's just come out of this. You're a wizard, Harry. Okay, come to here. Yeah. Whereas I think you played. So on alto, it's actually B flat to C to F sharp. So one little tiny thing, but nothing much to write home about there. And the other thing is just, it's always very difficult to play outside at the best of times because you go flat and then some notes. The saxophone is an out of tune instrument, but playing outside makes it even worse, and we have no idea what the temperature was on that day. However, some of the notes were proportionally more sharp than others. And you know what? Alto players always say you're better to be sharp than out of tune, and that's usually what happens. So just watch your tuning doesn't get too sharp. You can use your larynx just to pull down the tuning, but great job on that. I like the way you're out there busking and taking your sax to the world. So let's give it up for Michael. Okay, next person.
Just laughing at me saying Michael Gobson. That was your typo though, love. And I did just go and check back at the files, and it is Gibson. So yeah, if you could get them right for me. It's hard enough with some of the names, but anyway, that's where we are. So the next one, I hope you've written this one right. Steve Pape or Pap. Sorry, Steve, if I've got that wrong. He's doing Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. Oh, another one from my childhood. Steve says, I'm not sure the attached is sufficiently well developed to be worthy of appraisal. Oh, Steve, everything is welcome here. I've been playing for 6 months. Check this out. This is amazing. Using your YouTube channel as a guide. I just want to tell you something really funny, that when I was a kid, I used to think that this song was called Don't Cry For Me, Sargentina. So funny. Anyway, so Steve has been playing for 6 months. Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. Let's have a listen.
Right, okay. Let's hear Steve. Let's hope we've got his name right. Okay, here we go. I haven't seen Steve in the chat. Let me know if you've seen anybody who's featured in the chat. I know that Xavier's here. Oh, yes, great. 6 months. That's insane. I love that. Oh, I was hoping that you were going to cut out the second verse and just going to go straight into the chorus. I was ready for a big sing-along there. Gutted. Fantastic job. So a couple of little pointers. Now, one little technique thing, which is something that everybody can benefit from. I'll actually go into full screen so you get a better view. But just before I do, actually, I'll back it up. I'm going to talk about your thumb position. You could see it a bit better earlier in the video. Right. So I can't zoom in, but I'm sure you can see that Steve, your thumb is quite bent there. So let me come out of this mode again. Your thumb, so hard to get this blooming thing focused. So your thumb should be flat. You're resting on the button with this bit, and this bit should never move from the black or whatever button you've got at the back of your sax. You just literally, let me try and cover up my face so I can do it. Okay, that's not bad. You should just hinge your thumb like this. What you shouldn't do is arc it up like this. I see this really quite a lot with people. Make sure you're not doing this. You just, your thumb stays flat and you push it like this. Your thumb should extend over the end of, the key. Your thumb shouldn't be there. And then when you press it, you move it over. No, it should be there. Just a little gentle press. So a little tiny thing that's going to help your technique moving forward. Obviously, there's a few little squeaks creeping in. So you might just have a little embouchure thing. You might be biting a little too much, maybe putting too much pressure on the bottom of the reed and the top of the mouthpiece with your bottom lip and top lip. So try and have your embouchure more like a circle with the sides of your lips going in and forward. And that, hopefully, will eliminate your squeaks. But that was an absolutely great job. Only 6 months. Next time, I want to hear the chorus, though. All right, great job, Steve. All right, who's next?
Well done, Steve. That was brilliant. Before we go on to the next one, I just want to give a shout out to Adrian Dunn in the comments. Thank you for your feedback to everyone, Adrian. That's really sweet. But Adrian's got his first rehearsal tonight since lockdown for his brass section. And obviously there's social distancing, he says. And he's well nervous. However, Jamie's got my back. So I just wanted to say best of luck for that tonight. And everyone give Adrian a little kind of bit of love and support for that tonight.
Good luck for that, mate. Hope it goes really well. I'm sure you'll smash it.
Might be a bit nervous, but it's super exciting, hey, to be back. That's really good. Okay, so next we have another one. I hope I get this name right. Jack Ober. Jack sent us a lovely message. So my full name is Jack Ober, and I live in Falls Church, Virginia, a suburb of Washington, D.C. I started playing clarinet at age 9 and played on and off, mostly off, my whole life until about 8 years ago when I went back to playing regularly. I play clarinet in a symphony orchestra, a wind band, and as much chamber music as I can. This has all been a hiatus since COVID. I started alto sax at 17 and played for about 3 years through to age 20. I played pseudo jazz, mostly the melody with a lot of ornamentation with pickup combos. I didn't pick up the sax again until about 3 years ago, and I've been playing regularly for 1 year. So I have many years of playing classical clarinet and a few years of playing jazz saxophone, mostly during the past year, and I'm now 77. So Jack is playing Just Friends. So let's have a listen.
Just friends, lovers no more. Okay, awesome. Let's cue that one up. And thanks for giving us so much information. That's absolutely awesome. Of course, if you just write a couple of sentences, we'll be able to tell everybody a little bit more about your situation, how long you've been playing, and that will give everyone a nice frame of reference for your performance. So here's Jack playing Just Friends. It's quite long, so I'm going to play a bit of the head, and then we'll cut to a bit of the solo. Nice titles. Okay, let's cut to a bit of, let's cut to his knock on the changes. That's my first mic unmute of the day, I'm pretty sure. Pretty good for me. Unfortunately, we haven't got a chance to listen to the rest of the solo, but awesome. We got like at least half a chorus there, maybe a full chorus. Now then, I've got some great advice for you, Jack, which I'm going to go full screen for. Awesome job there. It's not easy to play jazz standards, everyone. It's not easy at all. And you were hitting a lot of those chord notes. I could tell because I was listening super closely. So you obviously have practiced some of the arpeggios. You know where you're going with some of the chords. And you did a great job in the song. So how do you take it from here to here? Well, interestingly, this is going to be one of the main topics in... Dun, 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 dun. That's going to be one of the main topics in improvisation mastering. So keep your eyes peeled for that in June, as previously mentioned. Now, there's a big difference between knowing the chord tones and hitting the right chord tones at the right time. So anybody that's just like a one scale improviser, like a pentatonic merchant, which is totally cool, do not be overwhelmed by what I'm about to tell you. This is more high level stuff. I'm doing it for Jack, for the level he's at, okay? So don't, if you get glazy eyed, don't fear. So we're doing Just Friends, and the first chords are A major 7, and then we go to A minor 7 and D7, and then we go back to E major 7. Now, when you have a 2-5-1 like that, that's, for example, A minor 7, D7, E major 7, it's called a backdoor 2-5-1. So if you're in the key of C, it would be F minor 7, B flat 7, C. It's kind of like a backdoor 2-5-1, it's called. You have to hit the important notes. So you're on E major 7 and G sharp is the important note. And then you're on A minor 7 and G is the important note. And then you're on D7 and F sharp is the important note. So you've got to hit these really important guide tones as you move through the rest of the progression. So I'm going to take a little improvised solo on Just Friends and show you what I mean. I'm going to hit those really key notes and you'll hear the harmony of the song as I do it. I hope. Okay, here we go. So you can hear, hopefully, that you could hear the chords when I was playing. It wasn't just a kind of... A lot of people want to know how you connect chords and play a nice melodic line going through it without sounding like a scale exercise. So that's all the kind of stuff I'm going to be teaching in the course at length. But the secret is knowing the right chord tones to hit at the right time. And normally it's the thirds and sevenths, which is the guide tones. So, for example, just one quick example to round off this song. When you get to that turnaround to take you back, because this is a chord sequence that starts on chord 4. When you go back, you need to hit that D natural on the E7. So that's one of the most important things. Oh, I bet that was loud, wasn't it? So the secret of playing chord changes is having the knowledge and also having a good bank of transcriptions that you've studied the greats playing. So you know some great licks that fit over those chords and make you sound really good. So great job, Jack. I won't go on too much about playing chord changes because I could be here all day. We'll save that for another one. But fantastic job. Keep going. Keep jamming. Transcribe some solos. And look at those guide tones. Let's give it up for Jack. Okay.
All right. Next up, we have Javier Criscito. This is a solo transcription. We're not exactly sure. Well, we're going to ask, does anybody know what this is? Javier says, loved your video teaching your family to play sax. Freaking awesome. Thank you very much. And also all your YouTube videos. I'm trying to put together this solo. I have it at 70% of the normal speed. I know intonation is a bit off. So let's have a listen.
Okay, let's check it out. Here we go. If you know what this song this is, then please put it in the comments. Oh, I was just getting into that as well. Right, fantastic job. Love that. Now, here's somebody. You have got absolutely fantastic finger technique. No problem there. Your fingers are really close to the keys all the time. So great job on your technique on that one. The one thing that maybe you could sharpen up a little bit on, let me come back into normal like this. The one thing that you could probably sharpen up on a bit now is your articulation, you know, how you tongue the notes. And you can practice this just with your mouthpiece and neck. And you really need to dial in the three basic components of articulation, which is legato tonguing. So you tongue a note and then you play the note for the whole length, and then you tongue it again, which sounds like this. And then there's staccato tonguing, where you tongue the note and you get your tongue straight back on the reed as fast as you can. And then there's the one classic bit of phrasing that you'll use over and over and over again, which is a long short. Da-da, bebop. I mean, that's why bebop's called bebop, right? Ba-da-ba-da-bebop. So that sounds like this. So if you can dial in those articulation basics, and I've got a couple of videos on tonguing, which you can go and find in my technique playlist. That is really going to help you out, but awesome job. Oh, I mean, of course, how could I not mention that transcribing is like the best thing that you can possibly do for your playing. If you want to improvise, you better start transcribing. And I've got a playlist on that. I've got you covered for everything, haven't I? So fantastic job. Love that. Love the fact that you transcribed it. You got it down. So just blow out a bit more as well. You know, really try and put some air through the thing. Your technique's dialed in. Sharpen up your articulation and you are golden. Good to go.
Okie dokie. So next, first of all, just very quickly, it's just really great to see everybody chatting in the comments. So Mei Ling asked a question, which we'll still bring that to Jamie at the end. But Osnosis and Eduardo are popping in some comments to support Mei Ling with her questionnaires. That's really nice to see. Thank you for that. And Eduardo has referred to total tone mastery and said to Mei Ling that one of the questions she's asking is in that. And it's good to see that you're working hard on that course there, Eduardo. So next up we have, again, apologies if I get this name wrong, Jagger Ashan, aka Jagger the Saxo Boy, and he is playing Chameleon by Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
I'm so glad you've got to read out the names today, not me. I definitely dodged a bullet on that one. Okay, who doesn't love Chameleon? Let's check this out. Here we go. Jagger and the Saxo Boy in the house. Let's have it. don't. I just want to hear the next bit now. Fantastic job. Yes, love that. Really, you know, lots of energy. Love your vibe. You're looking sharp. You're like in the groove with it. You're really like pulling out all the stops there. I love that. Let's just come back into so you can see me a bit better. Yeah, so fantastic job there. My tips for you based on looking at that are, number one, you're the world's greatest poster boy for the Dorian mode. If anybody wants to hear what the Dorian mode sounds like, check that video out again. So the big thing about the Dorian mode is that natural sixth in the scale. But if that's something over your head, forget the information. Let's move on. My advice to you is, I can see that you're really like funking it up, but sometimes you're sacrificing, you're playing too many notes and you're running up and down the scales and you're losing the funk. So try and get a little bit more in the pocket on your solo. And I would advise you to transcribe, like I just said, transcribe some fantastic funky players who use the blues scale a lot. And then you can sort of get a feel for those licks and how they sit in the groove and really take your playing to the next level. So instead of kind of jamming a bit like this, if you learn some blues licks, you can kind of funk it up a bit more, a bit like this. Yeah, so get yourself a little bit of language. If you want to improvise, you got to speak with language. How does anybody speak a language? By learning phrases, and you can do exactly the same thing musically. So get yourself some great, listen to some Brecker, Grover, any of those guys, and get yourself a few little great licks. But wonderful job, love that one. That's a super uplifting track. So round of applause. Moving on.
Love that. That was awesome. We'll have a bit of Herbie Hancock and Jamie getting a little bit carried away there, but how can you not? Okay, next up we have Nikki Hayden. Nikki was a former pupil of Jamie's, but that stopped during COVID. We think she might be doing like an event or a gig here, and she's kicked off her shoes for this one, and it is Songbird by Kenny G.
The G-Meist in the house. First person who's played a bit of Kenny G, so let's have it. Okay, Nikki. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Nikki's a pupil of mine who unfortunately stopped coming to me when COVID put the detonator on everybody's music plans for a while. But she's an absolutely fantastic player. And if you'd heard her before, and now you hear her like this, you would see a drastic transformation. So check this out. Wow, that was awesome, Nikki. That was wicked. I really missed having Nikki around for lessons. You must come back. I hope you're watching this on the replay if you're not in the chat already. I've just seen my buddy Oz is in the chat. How you doing, Oz? Another student of mine. Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Really, really great feeling. You're just like putting your heart and soul into that, and the expression is absolutely fantastic. It really feels like you're really telling a story with that melody, which is wonderful, wonderful stuff to hear. And the shoes are kicked off. You're down, connected to the earth there, playing the G. We love it. I've got to give you some advice though. So occasionally it was a little bit flat down the bottom, a little bit sharp at the top. There was the odd little lip scoop, very odd little lip, little lip kind of thing, but you have dramatically reduced those kind of lip scoops that you used to do. And it sounds absolutely fantastic, and I wish you all the best, and I hope you're really well, Nikki. So let's have a round of applause. So what we got time for? We got time for like one more, do you think? Leave some space for some Q&A.
Yeah. What
do you reckon?
God, that's gone so quickly, hasn't it?
Is anybody bored, or you still want to keep going for a bit? 20-second delay.
Yeah.
Let's just wait for the chat.
I'm having fun.
I'm having fun. I love it.
Loads of fun.
Okay, let's have another one and then see how we're doing.
Okay, let's do next up Bernard John, who is doing Green Green Grass of Home, which is a big hit for Tom Jones in 1965. My mum would love this one, Bernard. Love a bit of Tom. Let's see.
I can hear the dog in the background. What's she whining about? Okay, let's cue this one up for Bernard. Okay. Oops. Oh, I was going to have it again then. That was awesome, wasn't it? That was absolutely beautiful. I love that. Really nice performance. The video does actually start with a black screen, so it's not very visually attractive, is it? Let's go to here. Okay, cool. Yeah, wonderful job. Thanks very much for that. The highlight for me was how in tune every note was. That is like, woo! It's like you're playing like a synth. Every note was just perfectly in tune. I was saying earlier about Xavier needs to put a little bit more mouthpiece in. I would say you need to put a tiny bit less. It's got that slightly kind of just, it's not barky, but just sort of hard, slightly hardness to the sound, which you could reduce slightly by putting a bit less mouthpiece in. And also, if you go and watch my video on subtone, you can get that kind of, this is really a tenor player's thing, but obviously it works on alto, but if you're a tenor player, it's kind of indispensable to play with subtone. So when you get down into that low register, you can play with that warm, fuzzy tone, which sounds like this. Instead of so subtone, you move your teeth right to the end of the mouthpiece, you bring your bottom jaw back, and you kind of just fuzz the sound. You blow a little bit more gently. Why am I playing Christmas songs? Okay, so that's my advice to you, but I really like that. That was super sweet. Let's have a round of applause there. So let's bring in my co-host. Right, what we're saying,
Yeah, we love that. Me and Julie LV were singing along to that. Julie LV in the comments said, "Sing along." Me too, Julie. That was amazing. Just a little note here. Tom Tresco has put in the comments, everybody should say how long they've been playing. I agree. It would be really, really good that if you submit a video, because there are some people here who haven't been playing for a long time. And if you've been playing for many years, they won't be so intimidated by that. So I think, yeah, let's have a little bit of detail about how long you've been playing, etc. If you're going to submit a video, it'd be great.
Yeah, I think on this, if you submit your video using that link, I'll just go to me. If you submit your video using that link, I think what happens is, I know, I created it. You get an email and it tells you all about how to do it. And I think I say in that email, yeah, it gives a bit of detail, 1 minute video, and only submit one video. Because some people submit a bunch of videos, but I can only obviously play one. So make it your best video, folks. Okay, let's take that off again and bring you back in here. I'm like a TV director as well as a sax player. Right, we got time. What have we got time for?
I mean, it's up to you. I mean,
have we got anything special up your sleeve?
Oh,
and then we'll do Q&A.
Yeah, can I just pick my favourite of the day?
Co-host's choice.
Yeah, the co-host's choice. So
okay,
this one here, I particularly had a star next to this one because I really want you to play this one. This is by Tommy Hoffelder. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually write down exactly what the song was, but you can have a listen to this. I was so blown away by his playing, but also what he said in his comments. I will need you to hear this and give him some love in the comments. So Tommy says, "I'm really interested in your input. Sometimes I think of quitting. The pay is terrible. I know. The pay is terrible in my area. I don't know how to get out there and publicise myself. I'm humble and I don't know how to brag or even if I should continue." Now, when you listen, oh my God, Tommy, I hope you're going to watch this, or I hope you're either here or you're going to watch this back. Tommy, everybody just listen to this and please tell Tommy that he should not quit, please.
Oh, cool. Look at this. I should have done this earlier. We can both react.
Oh, excellent. Do you know what I was going to say as well?
Yeah.
I know that we haven't got a lot of time, but please make sure it goes past 40 seconds because something insane happens around that time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Here we go.
Let's do it. love him. I love him, and I love that. I love.
My mic isn't even on. Sorry. If you getting excited, if you give up, I'm giving up. That was mental. That was so good. I don't
So
even have any
good.
advice for you. That was no advice from me.
Just beautiful. Like, I think, who said this in the comments? Hannah Freeman said, I hear your soul and passion. Yes.
Totally and utterly.
Yes,
That
so
was
beautiful.
absolutely wicked, Tommy.
If Tommy's not here now, or if he doesn't get to see this, I'm going to email him personally and say,
Yeah,
you need to
definitely.
watch this video. So keep sending those beautiful comments in for Tommy, because we do
Let's
not
give
want
Tommy some
Tommy
love.
to quit. We do not want Tommy to quit.
Oh yeah, that was a
Yeah.
game changer, wasn't it? So get your comments going. There's a bit of a lag in the comments, so start hitting us up with your questions. Remember, you do capital Q and then dot, and then hit us up with any questions that you've got. You can ask Mel something if you want as well. She won't be able to answer your saxophone questions. In fact, this would be a really fun segment. You have to answer all the saxophone questions.
I don't know anything about saxophones.
Okay,
I have
so
got a couple loaded up already if you want to get
awesome.
started.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go
there's a few-
into the Q&A segment. Here we go. Okay, what we got? I'm
Sorry,
ready.
I jumped in a bit quickly, didn't I?
Quiet in the studio,
All
right.
Marcelo Sara Nicolino. Jamie, my alto sax teacher is from classic school and says that the embouchure must be really, really, really tight. What do you think about that?
Next question.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
I
so
thought there was some weird delay then. I was like, what?
okay, so I put you on. I thought you were going to say something funny, but you're not. Okay, this is all about cause and effect. If you want to get that result, you might want to do that thing. If you want to get that result, you want to do that thing. So what you've got to ask yourself is, what kind of saxophone sound you want to make, what kind of music you want to play, and then try and get your setup and your embouchure and your vocal tract and everything, all your ducks lined up to make that noise. Now, if you want to play classical music, even if you want to play classical music, you don't want to have an embouchure that's really, really tight. So, but there is, in my opinion, a slight difference in sound concept between the two. So it's not, we should stop thinking less in terms of right and wrong, and we need to start thinking in terms of cause and effect. You do this, this will happen. You do this, this will happen. I want to play jazz, commercial music, pop, reggae, soul, West End theatre stuff. I play with, Wet, Wet, Wet and West End shows and stuff. So it's not appropriate for me to have that kind of sound. I want a nice, open, rich, full singing tone. So I play with a loose embouchure and quite an open tip opening on my mouthpiece. That's my thing. But if you want to create that kind of sound, then you need to do something different. Okay, that's my best effort on that. Over to you. Next question.
Myself off mute. Okay, next question is from Yantho Weeping Horn. Yantho says, any tips on how to get back some speed and coordination in the left hand? I was stabbed through it a few years ago, striking some nerves and tendons, and have been struggling ever since. Sorry to hear that, Yantho. That sounds awful.
Right, yeah. Oof, that's a wrong one, isn't it? It's every player's worst nightmare. Every human's worst nightmare, never mind a sax player. So, speed and coordination, my best guess, not being a physical therapist, is that you would just do the same things that anyone else would do to get speed and coordination, which is use a metronome, play at a manageable speed, and over time, gradually speed up until you get to the speed that you want to be able to get back to. Don't try and play faster than you can, because that will be counterproductive. You have to reteach the connection between the motor neurons in your brain and your fingers, and that will just happen over many days and weeks, months, possibly even years, who knows. We're all still learning. So I haven't got any specialist, physiotherapy type advice, but that's something that everyone can benefit from, which is learning that way. So manageable, daily, never, just consistency will get you there. Okay. Who we got next?
Right, next up we have RB Tubin. I'm guessing that's not your name, that's your kind of YouTube handle. I have been playing the song Money by Pink Floyd on tenor. What is the best way to play high C sharp to high E above the staff?
Okay, good question. I think you might be talking about the trill he does in Money, which is an interesting question for this reason. Because normally, if I was trilling from C sharp to E, I would use the front E, which is like a normal octave G, but with the front F key. And I would just trill all those fingers, keeping the octave key on, like that. However, I've got a feeling that in the Money solo, I don't think he does that. I think he just literally does a normal C sharp to a normal E. I think that's what I did when I did my version of it. It's a bit more of a coordination challenge, but I think that's what happened. But the classic answer would be to trill it like that using the front F key. Okay, let's try and do quite quick fire. So next.
Okay, let me just get these back up here. So Mailing Eastman, I've been trying your subtone tips on my tenor baby. It seems much harder on the low notes, i.e. low D and below. Is it just me? Because those are the notes it would sound best on. Right,
okay, yeah. You probably aren't quite doing the subtone right, because you're quite right. As I showed you earlier, that's the notes it does sound best on. I think subtone is something that not everybody gets very easily. I don't think you do it. I think one doesn't do it dramatically enough. Like my teeth are almost off the end of the mouthpiece. My jaw is pulled right back and I'm not blowing very hard. Yeah, I'm almost swallowing my chin. So try and be a bit more dramatic. Try and be a bit more dramatic about what you do. Don't blow quite so hard, because that will just force the full tone to come out instead of the subtone. That's my best advice on that one.
Next up, Daly Williams. Can you give any advice on intonation, Jamie? The top half of my horn seems to be better than the lower half. I seem to be very flat on the bottom half of the horn.
Wow, I can't believe your sax is out of tune and you're a sax player. Who knew, eh? Unbelievable. Yep, that is, to me, not Dexter. Always focus. Now he's focusing on the blooming logo. Come on. That is the curse of being a saxophonist, and the way you stay in tune is by tuning notes using your larynx. You pull your larynx down. It's all in my Total Tone Mastery course, by the way, and you can change the pitch of the note. When you're keeping notes in tune, it won't be remotely as dramatic as that, of course. Now, the secret of not being flat at the bottom is you push your mouthpiece on and you make your whole sax sharp so that the low notes are okay, and then you use a looser embouchure and pitch them down a bit using your larynx in the top half. There we go. Okay, who's next?
All right. Xavier, sax to the max. What's your favourite sax piece, Jamie?
Right, that's a good question, isn't it? I can't find that one because I was searching elsewhere. Anyway, my favourite sax piece is, what's your favourite colour? Favourite sax piece is A Love Supreme by John Coltrane. Next.
I could have said that. I wish you'd have asked me to say it. I was like, Mr. and Mrs. I was going to go, ask me. I know what it is.
Okay.
All right. Next question from Hannah Freeman. How long should I make a video to send in, and what kind of range should I show? I'm thinking of Beatles music, possibly, or a song I wrote. I want the most feedback. I'm on alto.
Okay, cool. Hannah's a recent Get Your Sax Together fan, so I'm so glad you're on the live. The videos are 1 minute long, So get your best material in there. Apart from that, it doesn't matter tremendously what you play. It'd be good for me to be able to see your embouchure and to be able to see your fingers. Apart from that, you might be surprised how little difference it makes what you play, because whatever you play, I'll be able to tell how you play. You could play a scale, you could play Baker Street. It wouldn't make any difference to me because the fundamentals will come out in every single thing that you play. So just choose the thing that you love and that you like the most. Yeah. Okay.
Good. Okay. Princess Ribena. So how do you loosen your embouchure? And Osmosis is in the comments there, hopefully giving you a little bit of feedback. But Jamie, we'll just get your response to that as well. How do you loosen your embouchure?
You loosen your embouchure by doing this exercise. It's called slack jaw, which is in Total Tone Mastery, along with everything else about how to get a great sound. So you're going to blow your mouthpiece and neck, and you're going to slowly move your jaw down until the sound disappears and all you get is air. You're going to blow until your lip literally isn't touching the reed, and then you're going to slowly move your lip up until it touches the reed, and then the reed starts to bite. And your embouchure is going to be a little bit tighter than that, and that's probably a lot looser than you think. Now, the other quick test for how tight your embouchure is, you need to be able to pull your mouthpiece out while you're blowing it out, and your embouchure should stay formed. And if your lips buzz when you pull it out, then your embouchure is too tight. So it should be like this. And if your lips do this, then you know that your embouchure is too tight. Okay, next question.
Okay, we've got a few more here. So Carl Smith, this is a great question actually. At what point should I get a tutor? I've been playing for 4 months and I think I've taught myself as much as I can. Also, are online tutors any good, or shall I wait until I get one in the same room?
I think you'll find it says, are online tutors any god? Well,
yeah.
That depends if you're talking about me or not.
Yeah.
Love it. I think you should get a tutor straight away. There's no substitute. Even, YouTube and all that, you should probably get yourself a teacher straight away, because they'll be able to quickly correct some of the biggest things. Maybe further down the line, you can get online lessons with me or somebody a bit more high level, and they can kind of get you really, iron out whatever's wrong. But for the meantime, if you just want to get going, I would try and find yourself a tutor. The zombie apocalypse should be ending soon, I hope, so you might be all right. Okay, dokes. You're muted, love. Welcome to my world.
Yay, first error. Sorry about that. We've got a question from Spam. How can I verify I have or may not have a good tone in the upper register?
Does it sound good? If it does, you've got a good tone. If it doesn't, you don't. It's as simple as that. If you think it sounds good, then it does. Maybe record yourself, because sometimes when you play, the sound goes into your head, like through your bones into your head, and it's got a slightly different sound to what's out front. So you could record yourself. If you've got a good mic, all the better, but your phone should be fine. And see what it sounds like. Simple as that. Bring on more easy questions, please.
All right. I just want to say very quickly to Steve Thomas, who says in the comments, your timing sucks, Jamie. My lesson is at 5 o'clock each Friday, or each other Friday. And also Jack Ober says, will it be available on replay? I need to transcribe the great chord progression advice I got. Absolutely, yes, it will be on replay, you guys. So
Same
Steve,
link.
don't worry. Okay. So 2 really nice short questions here from PR squared or pi r squared. Is tenor sax your favourite instrument to play?
Yes. Next.
Oh dear. And then another question from Mei-Ling Eastman. Do you play classical music as well, Jamie?
Well, I was classically trained, for sure. I used to play classical clarinet from when I was about 9. Then when I was 13 or 12 or 13 or whatever, I moved to sax. and I had to play classical sax to audition for music colleges. So I did play classical, although I was also playing jazz, and that wasn't like the greatest combo. And when I went to City University and then studied at the Guildhall School of Music, I studied classical saxophone with a classical sax professor. But then since then, I haven't played any classical saxophone. Although you might argue that when you're playing West End shows, there's quite a lot of classical discipline involved in the clarinet, bass clarinet, flute, piccolo, and all the stuff that you have to do. So it definitely served me well. But no, I wouldn't say I play classical saxophone these days, no. What we got more? A couple more, then knock it on the head?
I've got one more question for you, and this is from Xavier. I love you, Xavier, for this question. Or is it Petra? I'm not sure who's answering these questions. But what is your favourite gig you've ever played, Jamie? Can I answer that?
You can have a go, yeah.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
Wrong answer. I think I've got so many favourite gigs, but two that spring to mind, which is going to be like a clang fest, isn't it? Maybe three. Am I allowed three? It's my show. I can do what I want. So first of all was playing with Shaka Khan at the Lovebox Festival for tens of thousands of people outdoors, playing with somebody I just love so much. That was, how good was that, love?
It was amazing. And do you know what was so beautiful about that? The kids were really, really young. And back then, we used to drop Jamie at the train station to go to his gigs, and they thought Jamie worked at the train station. It was so lovely. So then we were in this huge festival. I took the children with some friends. We were in this huge festival, and there was a stage and these like great big screens. And all of a sudden, the camera went on Jamie, and they both went, "That's my daddy! That's my daddy!" It was just the most beautiful thing ever. It was really lovely. So yeah,
wicked. So that was
a great gig.
That was absolutely fab. I played with Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons at the Albert Hall, and for that one we had the London Symphony Orchestra. And when they kicked into "Grease Is the Word," and the whole LSO at the Albert Hall went, oh, that was total goosebumps. Playing with Incognito at the Blue Note in Tokyo, that was absolutely electric. Playing in Munich Stadium with Wet, 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 you know, probably one of the biggest gigs I've done, 80,000 people, that was insane. Yeah, there are a few. Is anyone still here? Is it just me and you chatting?
Yeah, no.
All right, come on, let's try and wind it up. Last question, maybe?
Okay, we're going to find one more question in here. I did have one more. Hang on a second. Let me just find it. I didn't actually copy and paste it, but here it is. From Rafael Muno. The back of my bottom lip hurts after playing more than 45 minutes. Does it mean I have bad embouchure?
I think you mean that, don't you? Yeah. It probably means that you are, that's a great question. It probably means that you're curling your lip over your teeth too much. Because if you've got a really nice, loose, turned out embouchure, you don't get that soreness there. It doesn't bite in through. That's one of the signs that you're playing with a nice, loose embouchure. So the question was, does it mean I have a bad embouchure? It doesn't necessarily mean you've got a bad one, but it's not one that I would recommend. Yeah. So try and find my, there's a live I did just like this, which was a masterclass on embouchure. You'll find it in my live playlist on my channel. Go and check out that. That's got everything you need so you don't get that problem. Okay, should we call time on that then?
I think so, yeah.
I think we're going to call time on it. So I'm going to say goodbye to you, and then I'm going to do the promo stuff, and then we're out of here. So thanks so much for being my co-host. That was brilliant.
Yay,
let's have
having me.
Let's have a bit of love in the chat for Mel, who's taking some of the pressure off me in these sessions. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. And it's lovely to see all these lovely, I mean, I always watch anyway, whenever Jamie does these lives, but it's really lovely to be involved and see all your chat. So thank you for having me.
Okay, cool. So in case you missed it at the start, if you would like to submit your own video, go to the URL that you can see there, and there's also a link in the description. I'm going to smash through these promos. New course, Improvisation Mastery, watch out for that in June. And my free gift to you is my 1-hour saxophone success masterclass at getyoursaxtogether.com/masterclass. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for anybody and everybody that's bought me a coffee. You're so generous and it's very much appreciated. It really does make such a difference to me, especially seeing as there's no gigs on the planet. It really makes a big difference. And I do read, I haven't got time to reply to every comment, but they pop up in my notifications in my email box. I read every comment that you write when you send me a coffee. I smile and it just makes my day. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll be back next month for more of the same. Hopefully these sessions are really beneficial to you. Of course, there will be a video on Sunday, which is an awesome video about improvising. You're really going to enjoy that. And until next time, practice hard, practice smart, and enjoy your music. See you later, folks. Bye.